Hi everybody. What I did is I had some extra leftover gold resin made up yesterday. I poured them just in the very centers of these flowers, okay? And if you can see, some are bigger than the others. But so what I'm going to do is we're going to make a couple of different projects with these flowers. So what I'm going to do, I've got some resin made up. Right now I'm using Bitter Boat resin. It has kind of a short work time. So I'm going to just get this poured here kind of quickly. So what I'm going to do is I want to just cover the bottoms of the flowers, okay? Just a really thin coat, not going deep, just enough to cover the whole thing. I'm going to run this over with a heat gun, and then I'm going to let it sit and cure, and I'll be back for the next step. I'm back. So what we're going to do is add some color now to this. The layer of clear resin that we've got in there is just about cured. It's super sticky. It's not all the way hard yet. Not hard enough to take it out of there, but cured enough to start the next layer. So I'm using a little bit of Dr. Martin's Bombay ink. And I'm making up some different colors to do some backs of our flowers. I might even try just a little bit of white alcohol ink just mixed in there with it. It might just kind of disappear, but so when I do this, after I've stirred this up pretty well, the orange is in there pretty good, okay? I'm not going to stir this too much. I'm going to put, I don't know, about maybe 4 drops of the white, and I'm just going to swirl it like this, kind of, so that when it pours out, hopefully I will get kind of a swirly color. I might should have just used regular white, but we're going to see. So I'm going to pour a couple of these like that, kind of an orange creamy color. So I've got quite a bit of this orange left. Maybe I will add some of the crimson, okay, to this orange. I'm going to add, let's see if you can see this here. I'm going to add a little bit in there. Maybe, I don't know, I just poured a little blob, so maybe 4 or 5 in there. So that was that. That's all I'm going to do for that color. Now for our little daisies. I think what I want to do with that is pour some into my little cup here. It's going to be way more than I need, but that's okay. So this one I'm going to put white, just plain white. This isn't alcohol ink, this is just plain white dye, okay? Okay, so on this one with the daisies, I might do a little swirl of yellow. So I'm going to take my golden yellow Bombay, and I'm going to just put a little, maybe just a couple little bit of blob in there. Now I'm going to run my heat gun over this, and then we're going to set it aside and let it cure. Okay, everybody, I'm back to continue working on the flowers that we are making. So my next step in this project is going to be to fill this tray. I got on Amazon or on Etsy. I'll have to double check. I'm going to mix up some resin here in a really translucent blue. That's what I'm hoping for. And let's see, I have a sky blue, might be light, blueberry, or actually this, what did I do with that teal? That might actually work really well. I can find it. Here it is. I want this to be, actually no, I think I'm going to go with the blue, okay? So I'm just using sky blue, regular translucent ink. I'm going to start with maybe just 2 drops. I don't want this to be very opaque at all. I really want this to be translucent. You see the shade here? It's kind of hard to tell probably, but yeah, it turned out kind of a pretty color. Okay, pour it in my little tray. And I'm going to go over this with the heat gun. That took care of the top bubbles. I've got some sitting down here on the bottom side of the mold. For what I'm going to use this tray for, it's not going to be a huge deal if I have some tiny bubbles in there. But if I can just get them out quickly, I'll give it a second to bring them up to the top there. Okay, I'm going to go over this again with the heat gun quick. That helped. Okay, I am going to put this over on the curing rack and let this cure, and I will be back after I can demold it, and I will show you the next step. All right, I'll see you in a bit. The thing that we're going to do is demold our little rectangle tray that we did here. And this is going to be our base. Okay, came out of there just pretty good. It's just kind of a see-through glass tray. Okay, I'm back to work on my vase that I'm starting here, and what I'm going to do is I've mixed up a little bit of resin. I've put a little bit of just Elmer's glue across the center of this, hoping that it'll just kind of help become a barrier for my next step I'm going to do here. So I'm going to take just the tiniest bit of a really light blue. I'm trying to see what on my inks what the lightest blue I have. Let's see, maybe the sky blue might be the lightest. And I want just barely a little drop in there. Tiny 1 drop. As you can see, I'm doing here just 1 drop. There we go. I want it just to be barely anything. Just a real light blue. And I'm going to pour a bit into here. This is going to be the vase. This part here is going to be the water for our vase. I'm going to stick it down inside all the way to the corners. We are going to have a vase filler of these little flat shells, because you know this little tray is very shallow. There's not, we didn't pour it all the way full, so it's not real thick. But definitely enough for these little flat shells to go in. They're just crushed flat shells, most of them. Every once in a while you get kind of a bigger, thicker chunk. Pour a little bit more resin in here. Hoping it won't cross that glue line I made, because I don't want it to go all the way to the other end. Okay, so that is this part, and we're gonna let this cure. I'll be back with the next step. This is our vase with all of the little crushed shells that we put in here for our filler. And as you can see, we have a little bit of a water line here. Here is the back with the rough side where the actual shells are. This is going to be the front, and our vase is going to go right down here at the bottom. If you can see this here, tilt this a bit, my frame's a bit big. Anyway, it's going to have to go pretty low down here towards the very bottom. Okay, maybe just with the tiniest lip. So what I've done is I've just taken a little pencil and I've gone in and I've marked on both sides of where the vase will be, for where I'm going to paint my shelf. And so anyway, I'm going to paint my shelf down here, and there's my wall color up here, And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my shelf is going to be a beige color. And then my wall is going to be a combination of aqua and white. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Just going to pour some of this into the bottom here. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need. I didn't do any kind of a primer. What color am I getting here? Kind of an aqua. I think this will kind of be a pretty wall color for the background for my flowers. I want it just a bit lighter than that. This is a really light aqua color here. Hopefully that'll be enough for my wall. I'm not really sure what kind of paintbrush to use for this, but I'm going to see this, or I also have this. But that looks like it's got mica powder on it. So what I better do is I stick with this one. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to do this here. Just paint my shelf color, kind of a tan. Here's my little tiny lines here and here. And try to make sure I get the sides done as I go along. And then I don't know, how you're supposed to shadow and make corners and things. So I'm going to move on to the next color. I'm going to go rinse my brush out real quick and I'll be right back. So excited about this project. I hope that it works the way that I have in my mind. Okay, I'm going to let this dry and we'll come back when it's all dry and do our next step. Okay everybody, I'm back and we're just kind of getting ready to do hopefully some of our last stages. Here are the flowers that we've made, okay? And what I've done is I've taken some of these, they're thin green paper strips that you get in the floral section. These came from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, okay? They just come in a little pack that looks like this. So they're just, kind of a long skinny, they come all folded up in here. But there's several different colors and you can kind of choose what you want. I'm going to attempt to use my hot glue gun. Hot glue doesn't usually stick real well to the resin, but I'm going to try it like that anyway. Now, here are our stems, okay? And I'm going to glue them down first and then glue our flowers down on top of it. So here is our vase, and the vase is going to go down here on our little shelf. But anyway, it's coming together, okay? So what we're going to do first is attempt to get all of these glued down, okay? So I'm going to work on getting that done. So I'm just going to do one flower at a time. What do you guys think? Turned out really cute. This is a 12 by 16 canvas, okay? And my vase, I didn't really want my vase to go this low all the way to the edge of the bottom. but I had to put it down that far to get all of my flowers in there that I wanted to get. But I think this turned out super cute. I'm trying to decide if I want to do any kind of like a little ribbon up here or something. I'm not sure it needs it, but I'm gonna let you go for now, and then I'm gonna figure that out and I'll be back. Okay, I took you guys off of my stand so that I could give you a closer look. I just think this turned out so cute. I just really love it. I'm excited to see what everybody thinks. Get my light down there a little bit closer. But all the flowers turned out cute. The vase, everything just really turned out pretty good, I think. Be excited to see what it looks like hanging up on a wall. But yeah, I just really enjoyed doing this project. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks, everybody. Good night.